Hi, welcome in. It's Shaped by Kate. Today we're going to shape up our breath with our pranayama breathing, doing the breath, or otherwise known as bhramari breath. And that's just when we inhale and exhale through the nose. And on that exhale out, you're going to do a little hum. And this breath is one of my favorite breathing techniques because it reduces stress, it reduces anxiety. It also helps if you're feeling like your thoughts are just sort of jumbled, that it can quiet your mind and sort of let you focus in on whatever you're wanting to focus on. That being said, it tends to be one of the more harder breathing techniques in a studio when you're around other people. Because typically when you go into a yoga studio, you do your yoga practice, you're not making any sounds whatsoever. You're just using your body. Sometimes you're using your breath, and sometimes that may be a little bit loud. But where it goes for talking or humming, that's usually the job of the teacher. So this tends to be a more difficult practice for students. That being said, it's one of the more easier breathing techniques because it's so calming. So the reason why I'm teaching this today is because it's the perfect practice to do at home when you're out and about. Even though I'm here sitting on a yoga mat with my mat itself all propped up, I love doing this yoga breathing technique when I may be doing the dishes or when I'm driving. If I feel like maybe my thoughts are too distracting, that humming in my brain is going to activate the parasympathetic nervous system and help me relax in any way that I'd like. So that being said, let's start our inhales and exhales. And I want you to test out your hum. Typically, I usually like a deeper hum with a because I feel like I have to put no work into it. It's like the same tone as my voice. Sometimes though, if I feel like my thoughts are very loud, I do a higher pitch. And that's just because it sounds a little bit louder, so I'm almost trying to be louder than my thoughts. So when you're ready, go ahead and test it out. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose with a hum. If you like that hum, no need to test it out. You can just keep it there. Another thing with this breathing technique is to take out all your other senses. So taking out your sight and your hearing. So a few options is you can close your eyes. If you're in maybe a bright room, take your 3 or 4 fingers, cover your eyelids. Your little fingers can curl under your face. And then your thumbs are going to come over your ears and just block out any sound. Typically, I do this practice in a hot yoga setting, so maybe sometimes touching your face feels a little bit more distracting than it really needs to be. So if that is, you can take your middle fingers and just cover the ears gently, close your eyes, and that's how you can block out your eyes or ears. Again, test that out. If that feels too distracting, then you can just drop your arms by your side, roll the shoulders back, and find your V breath. So with our hands and our tone set up, let's go ahead and do 10 breaths together without any of my cueing or talking to distract. So whenever you're ready, take an inhale through the nose and start your B breathing. Mm. Mm. Go ahead and find one or two more rounds of bee breath if you're still in that breathing. Mm. And to transition out of pranayama to normal breath, let's take an inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Open your eyes. If you'd rather keep your eyes closed, you can flutter them back closed. Check in with your body and your mind. See how you're feeling. If you're still maybe feeling a little bit agitated or anxious, I invite you to continue doing this bee breath, or even again, blocking out any senses like closing the ears or the eyes. Either way, thank you so much today for practicing pranayama with me today. Namaste.